And today, we're diving into something that's become a huge part of modern life and culture: flexing on social media. We've all seen it: the luxury vacations, the brand new cars, the designer outfits, the picture perfect relationships. You might scroll past a yacht party and think, wow, they really have it all. But what's really going on behind those photos? Why do so many people feel compelled to share their highlights, their wins, and their wealth online? And how does that affect those of us watching? Let's unpack the psychology, the culture, and the impact behind social media flexing. First off, what does flexing even mean? In internet lingo, flexing means showing off. It's about posting things that signal status, wealth, success, beauty, or popularity. And it's not always done maliciously. Sometimes it's subtle. Sometimes it's loud and proud. What is flexing really? Flexing, in its simplest form, means showing off. It's presenting an image of success, status, or superiority to impress others. On social media, it often looks like polished photos, lavish lifestyles, and curated content meant to provoke admiration or envy. But it's not always negative. Sometimes flexing is about celebration. People work incredibly hard, overcome struggles, and reach milestones. Wanting to share those wins is completely natural. The issue arises when posting becomes more about performing than expressing joy. The psychology behind the flex. So, why do people do it? Here are a few key psychological reasons. Reason 1: validation and self worth. Let's be real. Social media is built on likes, shares, and comments. Every notification is a little dopamine hit. When people post something and get praise, it reinforces their behavior. It's human nature to seek validation, and platforms like Instagram and TikTok are designed to feed that need. Some psychologists call it social currency. The more likes you have, the more valuable you feel. For many, flexing is a way to feel seen, valued, and accepted. Every like, share, or comment provides a dopamine hit. That tiny rush of pleasure reinforces the behavior, making people post more. Reason 2: insecurity and comparison. Now here's the twist. A lot of people who flex online are not showing off because they feel confident, but because they feel insecure. Social media can be a highlight reel, and when you scroll through post after post of perfect lives, it's easy to feel like you're not measuring up. So, people post their own wins, sometimes exaggerated or carefully edited, to prove that they're doing well too. It's a bit of a competition. Hey, I'm thriving too. Look. We naturally compare ourselves to others to evaluate our self worth. On social media, where everyone is sharing their best moments, it can lead to feelings of inadequacy. Reason 3: branding and influence. For some, flexing is more than just showing off, it's strategic. If you're trying to build a personal brand, gain followers, or land partnerships, you need to look successful. Aesthetics matter. Lifestyle influencers often post luxury content because it attracts engagement and sets a tone of aspiration. This isn't inherently bad, by the way. It's a marketing tactic. But for everyday users, it can still create unrealistic expectations and pressure. Reason 4: cultural and social factors. In some cultures or communities, success is publicly celebrated. Showing what you've earned can be a way of expressing pride, especially if you've come from a background where you had less. For first-generation success stories, flexing might be a way of saying, "Look how far I've come." But there's a fine line between celebration and showing off, and it often comes down to intent. Reason 5: FOMO, fear of missing out. When people see others living extravagantly or achieving more, It can create anxiety or the fear that they're not living life to the fullest. Flexing feeds into this. Insecurity. Ironically, people often flex when they feel insecure. They want to control how they are perceived and gain social approval by presenting a polished version of themselves. Flexing versus authentic sharing. It's important to distinguish between genuine sharing and curated performance. For example, someone posting their graduation photo is likely proud of a real achievement, but if someone photoshops a vacation they never took just for likes, that's performance. Before posting, ask yourself, am I sharing this to express joy or to impress? Would I still post this if no one could like or comment on it? Does this reflect who I am offline too? Authenticity builds connection. Flexing for attention might gain numbers, but it often lacks depth. Here's something I want to throw out there. Is all flexing bad? Not necessarily. Sometimes people are genuinely proud of their achievements. Graduating, getting a new job, moving into your first apartment. That's exciting. You should be able to share those wins. But when the goal becomes only to impress others, or when flexing becomes constant and exaggerated, it can hurt both the person posting and those who are watching. Ravi's realization. One of our listeners, Ravi, wrote in with this story. I used to post every small win, new phone, new sneakers, gym selfies. I even felt pressured to upgrade my lifestyle just so I could post more interesting stuff. But it wasn't until I took a break from social media that I realized how much of it was about proving something. Now, I still share stuff, but it's more about the moment, not the reaction. That kind of insight is powerful. Flexing might look like confidence, but it often masks a deeper need for approval. How to navigate the flex culture. Flexing is part of the digital landscape, but you don't have to fall into the trap. Here are some tips. Curate your feed. Unfollow or mute accounts that make you feel less than or constantly comparing. Practice gratitude. Start your day reflecting on what you do have, rather than what you lack. Celebrate without comparing. Share your wins, but don't measure their worth against someone else's timeline. Post with intention. Ask yourself why you're posting something and what message it sends. Digital detoxes help. Take regular breaks from social media to reconnect with reality and real relationships. That hits deep, right? So what can we do about it? Practice mindful posting. Ask yourself, why am I posting this? Is it for connection or validation? Limit your scroll time. Comparison can really mess with your peace. Support authenticity. Engage with people who are being real, not just polished. Celebrate others, but don't measure your worth by someone else's feed. At the end of the day, flexing isn't the enemy, it's the intention behind it. Social media is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used to connect or to compete. Conclusion. So flexing on social media isn't inherently good or bad. It all comes down to intention and impact. Are we sharing to uplift or to one-up? Are we curating or connecting? The digital world is noisy, but you can still choose how to show up. Be authentic, be mindful, and most of all, don't let someone else's highlight reel make you feel like your story isn't enough. If this episode got you thinking, share it with a friend, leave a comment, subscribe,